Come on, boss. Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil and today I am taking part in Farm 24 hours in farming. Now you're probably wondering, what on earth am I doing taking part in Farm 24 when it's for British farmers and supporting British producers and whatnot? I actually did get asked by the Farmer's Guardian back in May, would I take part? They got in touch with me on Instagram, sent me on their little card saying I'd taken part. I debated about whether I should or I shouldn't. I let them know I was Irish and I wasn't British. They never responded to me, so I'm going to take part in Farm 24. Any excuse to celebrate farming, I think, is a good excuse. And it's raining away at the minute. It's a lovely day in August, and the one thing you can probably tell with me and my t-shirt is the rain is warm. That's what the good thing about rain at this time of the year. It's warm, not as if we need a whole lot more of it. Anyways, I'm taking part in Farm 24 and I am going to be supporting local farmers, local produce, however local means to you, whether it be Irish, whether it be British, whether it be American, Canadian, French, German, whatever, wherever you're from. Support your local farmers, support your local food markets, support the local communities, whatever local means to you. Anyways, first job. I have to move the massy digger. Liv was cleaning out the chickens yesterday and I left her out the digger to move, to put the dung into. Here it is here, and that's Roxy, the Rottweiler. So we get the massy digger started up and moved, and there's Roxy. Not right, Roxy. Not right, Roxy. Yeah, big E get you. We'll just have a look at the chickens too. So wasn't a whole lot, but the reason why we use the massy digger just to clean out the hens is because the teleporter my father does have a strap up to the power harrow that he's trying to get fixed, that he's not getting on so well with, because I found more stuff that's wrong with it. I might show you later. So in with the chucks. How are you, chucks? So we've 3 buff Sussex, we've 1 silver leghorn, we have a white Peking cock. We have 2 chicks that were born, a hen and a cock, both Pekings. So I don't know what we're going to do with the cock. I'll probably sell them on or give them away to someone. We have a clocking hen in here then. One of our leghorns is clocking away there. So, that's the hens. Anyways, we're going to move the massy digger, empty the bucket, put back in the shed. Kinda wish I had a jumper now. Be hard careful of this back actor when you're driving around the farm, because it sticks out that little bit too much. That's the MF50. That's about all we've used it for so far. Just have not got around to doing anything like yet. The steering, from what we've used of it so far, the steering is atrocious. Oh, talk about, you wouldn't bring it on the road now. You definitely wouldn't bring it on the road because you'd be all over the place. The whole front has to be ripped out of it, and we have to do all the king bearings and bushings and stuff in the front of it to just straighten up that steering. That's probably the worst part of that. Anyways, here at the power harrow, and it's the bearing housing that bolts on underneath is gone. What's, oh, that's the one for the middle. Yeah, but that's what's gone. The bearing housing that bolts onto that, so we had to go order a new one. There's where a bit of wire gone round, and it had wore off enough of the iron, the casting, that the seals and everything just fell out of it when he went to put it all back in. So yeah, that's as far as he's got with it. I don't think we'll be needing it anytime soon with the way the weather is, but the next job I want to go start cleaning out the shed. So I have to take the 3690 and the Fusion out, get the telly and put the bucket on it, and then start mucking out the shed. So yeah. There. Yeah, excuse the rattles and bangs of the teleporter, but and if you're wondering where the door is, we take the door off during this lovely summer weather so you don't overheat in the cab. But the reason for cleaning that shit out first is so we can start storing machinery in it, like the other one, but really it's for when harvest coming. We want to get our combines out of the shed, we want to get the vintage silage harvesters out. So I want to put one on the 3690, and we need somewhere to put everything when we take it out. Not try and put it back in the shed, because it's like playing Tetris. That shed is like playing a game of Tetris with machinery. It's hard to go in and it can be hard to go out. So we'll run everything over into this shed over here, along with keeping the Fusion in it and some of the tractors and whatnot, keep the thing right. But that's why we cleaned that out, so we can have somewhere to put the vintage combines and that when we take them out of their shed. Just leaves it easier if we ever need to use them or that. Anyways, I'll stop talking and we'll try and get this shed cleaned out before my father arrives in the farm. So, just have the two machines in the shed there now. 3690 is on the Fusion, as you can see. We're using it bail and last, just because the 6499 was on the agitator. I needed to use it. But anyways, that's this shed cleaned out. I know some of you might say, well, you could do a bit more with a grape, but for the purpose of this shed now, till it's time to put cattle in, it's just put machinery in it, so it's clean enough for what I need it for. So next job is now to clean out another shed, so I can clean the mill peat out of another shed that is dry and is pretty much perfect. There was only a handful of cattle on it after it was got, and it'll bed again. But the shed the mill peat is in is our grain shed, so I need to get that taken out, put into a different shed to store till the winter so we can use it again. And then that shed has to be power washed, and my sisters were, there was a trade-off or something. My sisters wanted something, so they got whatever they wanted, but they had to power wash out the shed. So I have to get that done, because we want that shed washed, disinfected and dried before we start dry grain, the dry harvest, which will probably be in a month to 6 weeks. It'll probably be around the end of August, beginning of September before that happens. I come up to this slurry job. The last 4 days has been a 10-12 hour day spread, and it's a big job. A very big job. There's a good lot of slatted sheds to be emptied. There's two 5 bays, 2 6 bays and a 2 bay, all 8 foot. All the suspended passages. It's a big job. It's a big job when there's like one tanker in it, because the farmer is in loss. Low environmental spreading has to be carried out with less, that's what it's called, so you can only use the dribble bar, so we only have one tanker for the minute that's able to do the job. And it's a job that you just you're glad to see the end of it. So a bit, and my father's going then to service the Jag for whole crop, change the oil in the harvester, and clean the mill and get it all ready to go, because that's going to be the next round of work that will be coming on. And by right, we should be at the minute, but the weather just ain't playing ball. Just ain't playing ball. But I'll talk a bit more about that maybe towards later on in the video. I'm getting an awful drip just over the door here. But anyways, that's it. I may go find my father and uncle, whoever they disappeared off. So we're just having a coffee now, and yeah,
with some lovely liquid sunshine.
Yeah. Well, it's lovely weather, isn't it?
Because you're a duck.
You look impressed.
I am impressed. I'm wet. We went from a wet season to a dry season, and now back to a wet season. There's no in between.
No, there's no happy medium. So the plan has changed. Generally is the case when you go for coffee at 10 o'clock, tea and toast, coffee and toast, whatever you want to call it. The plan has changed, and yeah, look at the weather. We're not going to go out to slurry at all. It's just in that weather, no point. You're already messing, already acting the bollocks. Anyways, so the plan now is we're going to go look at some of our crops. We have to go to a local Massey dealership, and we want to order up a lot of parts for our combine, so that we, just in case they don't have, which they probably won't have them on the shelves, so there's time to get them ordered in, and then there's time to get it sorted, because the first thing the combine will be doing is crimp, and when we get the whole crop cut, then we'll be starting to think about getting the crimp done. We'll also have a look at the crops on the way down, the calves, and looking after the cattle. We're going to leave that off till later on. This weather, this is what it's been like in Ireland now since the weather broke back in May. You know, you're getting 2 or 3 good days at a time, and the rest of the time it's pissing rain, and it's desperate all the time. So we're going on an adventure now to the back of this shed to find these are bits for the combine, a header, and now the big combine, the 38, not the little ones, but just so you know what these are. If you see where the fingers come out of the auger, these are the little nylon bushings that the fingers come out of. I have to see, do we have any of these? I also have to find, do we have any yokes that they go onto? And the combine bits are all in at the back of the shed. So there we go. Diamond. So I suppose 35 gold belly painted red. There's a nut field, a collection of vintage harvesters, a single chop JF, FCA JF, a 717 New Holland, JF 900, and a Jag 51. And the 2 combines is a Massey 788 and a Massey 400. Also have a maize drill, so maize, and a beet drill above. And then there's a 20 there. Actually, the very first 20 my grandfather bought on 2 pallets. There's the back end and the engine is there. I need to go in there to get that, so I'll just put down the camera now so I get in that far. We're in here now. Set of spare tires we have, and I am looking for this and this, the nylon bushing that the fingers go into. See what we have so that we know what we need to get. Also, you can see all the red bits are all the Masseys, and there's boxes of stuff we bought in an auction of a Massey garage that was closing in Scotland. So I have to look through that. And all the blue stuff there is all the bits, the front axle, the hub, all of that off the Ford sprayer, the 7610, and all the link arms, the back, everything that's missing, make it back into a proper tractor is there. Never used this, literally like brand new, was never on the tractor. Literally the tractor come out of the factory, went to the Schaefer factory, and then was built like that. So all that stuff was like never used. But anyways, I'll down the camera and I'll start rooting through this stuff. Yeah, small bit. It's just a small bit tossed. Yeah. No, it gets any drying at all, sure that will stand back up. So that's our crop of oats here. Up this end, it's only in the corner. Not too bad. Crop of barley there now. Tossed there as well. Success. So We got a bag of meal when we're in town, and we're going to go feed all the calves now in this glorious sunshine. So just while we're heading out to the next batch of calves, probably should have said this at the start of the video, but we are dairy calf to beef farmers. We don't milk any cows. There's never a cow around the place. We got house sucklers in 2016. We sold all the cows and we went down the dairy calf to beef road. We usually rear around the 400 calves a year mark, but this year we reared a good bit less just for everything that was going on. And next year hopefully we'll be back up to where we normally are. We're a mixture of breeds that we rear. Our bread and butter, as I call them, is our Friesian and Jersey and Friesian cross calves. We also have Angus's, Herefords, Limousines, Belgian Blues, Simmentals, Fleckvies, Aubracs, Ayrshires. I think we have a few Norwegian Reds. We have a lot of different breeds. A lot of different breeds. It's what we like. We like like a mixed bag, like pick and mix. Next batch of calves. Nearly have that paddock eaten, so they do. I think we have to move the bulls too and the calves to the other side of that river. So, lots of good grass for them there anyways. So yeah, the bulls to the other side, I think we'll have to move them next, but this is what we do. This is what we do on the farm for a living. We're also contractors then as well. That's what I was on about earlier. You know, slurry for this man and the other man and whatnot. We're contractors. We've been contracting, you could nearly say, since my grandfather moved here in 1938. My grandfather moved here, and we've been contracting and farming this land since. We do all the good stuff: the silage, the baling, the pits, reseeding, slurry, piping, tankering. We do all the fun stuff. Flat lifting or pan busting, whichever you want to call it. Pretty much everything, except for hedge cutting and digging. They're two things we don't do. Anyways, we'll go feed these batch of calves. Alright, suckies. Seaweed. Oh, where's the trough? There's the trough. And then this is the problem with the wet weather. There's the water. Now, can I do this one-handed? Oh, it's off my phone, fucking. Not really. Anyways, I put down the camera and we get these fed. Ground has gone wet. Ground has gone very wet. So, as I was saying, the bulls need to be moved. The bulls' next move is on here, beside these calves. So my father's just going to go get the bulls. I'm going to move this fence for these calves, give them another couple of fresh yards of grass. Bulls will eat this. There's 60 something bulls there, Friesian and Jersey bulls. Might be an Angus or two and a Hereford on it. Just on that, I didn't say, we do bulls, bullocks and heifers. We do a mix, but the mainstay of the farm would be the Friesian and Jersey and FRX bull. Look at this now. It's August and we are literally on the point of being flooded. Great. Lovely. There's the bulls. This is one of 3 batches of bulls we have. This batch, our plan is to keep them out till pretty much the middle of October if we can at all, and then put them in for finishing. Try and have them out then in 90 days around January, February time, before they're 2-year-old. Here's our second cut crop of silage. Excuse the docks, they didn't get sprayed because of the weather, but it's starting to go too strong. It's starting to go really just starting to go real stemmy now, so it's a bit of a nuisance. Problem we have is, well, the weather, and we need to get the whole crop in first, and the whole crop takes 2 to 3 days to get all of that in to then start into the silage. So you're looking at needing 5 dry days in a row to be able to get all in. Best case scenario, we get 2 or 3 dry days, and as per usual the silage ends up going in the wet. But anyways, we tip up here and we go move the bulls onto the next paddock. Here's the bulls now. These are our biggest and bestest batch of bulls, another 60 odd in this batch. So we're moving them out onto this paddock here. They're being moved pretty much every day. These lads are getting moved. So there's same again, mostly Friesians and Jerseys. There's a belted Galloway bullock in it. You can see him there. He was too small in during the winter for finishing, so we said that we'd let him back out. So he's going to be 3-year-old by the time he's hung up. And there's a Hereford and maybe an Angus or 2 in it. And then there's the tiger calf, as we call him there, with the black. You can just see him walking up there. That's them boys. These are the best lads we have. The plan with these is to put these in the beginning of September and try and have them all gone before Christmas. That's the plan. That's the plan, because we don't want all our bulls to try and go in January when the main glut of bulls or dairy bred bulls would be, because most of the calves are all January, February, March is when most dairy calves are born. So I'll try and get these gone before that. The next move after this is to the yard and home those, and hopefully if we can get our weighing scales fixed, we'll weigh them and see how they're doing. Be interesting to see what weights they are and compare them to bulls from previous years and see what kind of weights we're getting. It's a fly on the camera. Anyways, we'll be on home now and have the dinner. So now, just out from the dinner, fed them calves, the batch with the blue and that in it. So just chopped the wires, but just look at out here now, just around the trough. That wasn't like that 4 days ago. It is, you tight walking now, it's that bad. And that's what our bottoms is like. That's why we used to say when we had the cows that we ploughed all the good ground and the cows ploughed everything else, because once the weather went like this, you couldn't keep the cows out. Everything was destroyed. One of the reasons why we got rid of them. I went for these boys, because as bad as that bit there is, the rest was fine. It's just literally where the troughs are. So it'll be the same again. Now I'll get me Farm 24 card out, take some promotional photos for the thumbnail, and yeah, we'll be on and move the rest of the calves. So we're just out here now with our Friesian bullocks, and there could be 2 or 3 jerseys on it as well, all bullocks here. So we'll move them. They don't really need to be moved, but they're spoiled anyways. They love any time they hear the jeep, the roar. So we'll move them every day or 2 really. So as you can see, they're a lot smaller than our bulls. I'd say the majority of what's there, based on our experience with the bullocks we had this year gone by that we finished, and just how the overall weights and grades just we weren't over happy with. I'd say a lot of these, definitely the half of them anyways, will probably be going back out to grass for their 3rd summer, and we might try finish some off grass. We have some bullocks the other side of the road we'll be looking at in a minute that are heading on for their 30 months that we should be finishing off grass. So these lads, it's kind of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other. We'll see how they go, but I'd say there'll be quite a few of them will be left back out just to give them the extra time to grow into a bigger size, a more decent size, put a bit more weight on them. very hard to do the bullocks, Frisian bullocks, under at the 24 months. That's really the height of it. Anyways, so here is the boys. This is the last batch of bulls, and there's also some bullocks that we, you know, the 28-30 month bullocks. I'll see if I can point them out. There's one, a Jersey bullock, a Hereford bullock, and pair of bucks there. There's some Frisians as well. I think there's an Angus. There's 2 Anguses over there. There's 5 or 6 here. Can't just remember. And then the rest are all bulls, doing fierce well. They've actually broke down the fence here. We have to fix that now. That's how they got in here. We didn't move them. They moved themselves. The devils. Doing fierce well. They'll be the same now as the ones that we have at home. Be aiming to keep them out for till the middle of October if we can at all. And then we'll be planning on putting them in, finishing them in January, February time for the 24 months old. Yeah. So I just spotted the Frisian bullock. There he is there. He's well on now. There's a nice, I can just see there, he's around the 2 as well. If we can, we'll try and get them pair into the tree in a fat score, what I visually see as a tree, and we'll let them go then. Nice deep body. He's quite well rounded now. He's in grey order. Pair of them are in grey order. There's another 2 bullocks there. 2. No, has good now. That lad, what's his number? 16. No, he's a Frisian. There's 2 Frisians now. 2 Frisian bullocks. They're not as in good of order. They may go later on, but yeah, there's the Frisian bullocks. They've done quite well now for on grass, no meal. Actually, that lad there now, he's quite good now. He probably, them 3 now, I'd say, will go now. But they're doing well now. We get them into the dash around the 3 mark. We'll let them off, and I'll let you know how they get on. Be quite interesting to see how the Frisian bullocks off the grass go for us, and then compare them to their comrades we finished out of the shed. I'd say that the likes of them will leave a lot more when we haven't had to put a scrimp of meal into them, a scrape of meal into them. So we'll see how that goes. So just dropped that agitator up there to my father. We have the 2 agitators up there, so he's going to tip away at that, get that agitated. Takes less than half the time with 1, because with 2 you can just stir the tank so much quicker. For those of you that are wondering when do we get a second one, about 2 months ago my father bought his friend's, well, when I say owl, it was about 3-year-old agitator. It's very clean. I did a video about a week ago where I had a better look at it, and that'll be up at a later stage. At the minute, Liv just picked me up to bring me back, and we are now going to go dose calves. Yeah? Or do you have something else to do? You want some tea? Okay, well I'll be rooting out gates. And we'll get brother as well. We're going to be dosing the last batch of calves we fed. We just reckon that they could do with their dose now. They're due their dose, and we just reckon that now's as good a time as any. So we're going to go with a white dose, a levy fast diamond, so it's a pretty strong dose. So yeah, we have to go gather up gates and make a makeshift crush down there in the paddock, and hopefully round them up and get them done handy enough. Probably won't be that way, but anyways, we'll go get that done next. Bro.
Okay, what now?
I need you.
To do?
Those calves.
Why are you filming?
To see your reaction.
Well, go away, go away, go away.
Come on, you're going dosing. Come on, bro.
No.
Come on, bro. Liv's coming. Come on, you're coming. Don't have to get mommy. This is what happens when we try to get brother. more in it than in the other one. So we just have our calves batched. We're ready. Levy Fast Diamond. Going on, they'll be around 150 kilos, might be a touch more. So they were getting 12.5 mil per 50 kilos, so they're going to get about 37, 38 mil a calf. So what we're going to do is try and dose them, spray them, level spray them. Eric's going to write down the numbers just so I can make sure that the numbers in the batch correlate to the batch, the highlight out, just make sure everything is right for recording on our Herd Watch app, and try and let them out and then tighten it in. And just we have to be mindful as well then the calves don't jump over the gate, because they are on the big side, and we might keep a lock of meal pegged at them just to keep them quiet while we're at it. But anyways, I'll put up the camera, we'll time lapse it, and hopefully this goes right without a hitch. Isn't that right? What's the likelihood of that happening?
0.
Slim to none.
Yeah, this is how much faith to have in me.
Yeah,
and the job.
It's not in you, it's just in
the calves.
They won't stay there. They never do.
Well, we're a bit dirty. We have successfully got them all done. All the calves are accounted for, aren't they, bro?
Yes, they all.
There was one. We had one jump across, which I think was very successful, wasn't it, bro?
It was.
You had no faith in me. No faith in me, and nor did you live.
Well,
look at the state now. Look at the state of her. I told her put on jeans, pull-ups. Look at this lad. Huh? You swear he did nothing. Look at him. He was doing the paperwork. I was, as you can see, doing the catching.
good for you.
So yeah, I probably should have put on overalls or pull-ups. Well, it's for being such a bad start to the day, it's actually blew into a lovely evening. But that went off incredibly well.
Besides the one that got.
Just beside the one that got, we couldn't get him back in, so we'll have to hit him with a pour on tomorrow just to make sure he's done. It is 7 o'clock. What the fuck? What time? That just took about an hour.
I didn't know what time we started at, but
I finished work at 4:30.
Yeah, and it was nearly 5:30 by the time we picked you up. An hour and a half. Not bad now for 80 calves. So it is, and that's nearly a calf a minute. And I was catching them, as you seen there, and it went pretty well now. I'm actually surprised it went as well. Normally when we try to do this kind of, as I'd say some of you probably already commented, messing and bollocksing, it normally doesn't go well, but that actually went well for a change.
because they blow open the gates,
anyways,
throw down gates, do everything.
We'll load ourselves back up, strap down our gates. We'll bay on back to the house. I think we'll have our tea, and then I will go clean out sheds, and I have to pull out the header. And I need you to come with me to pull out the header, because put that bird away. I need him to help me pull out the header, just so I don't get caught in the shed. Okay? So
how long will that take?
5 minutes. So anyways, we'll be on back to the house. So we're just out in the garden, just going to pull a bit of lettuce, have our tea, and then come back in and do some more work. So I'll just get some lettuce when I'm out, and I might make a few peas because I like peas. Please excuse the weeds. The weeds are just impossible to keep on top of. We're pulling away at the spuds, we're eating away at them. They're absolutely gorgeous. We had them for the dinner today, been working with them. We've actually bought a vintage Massey potato harvester in the UK, which we have to get back over the next, it could be a month before we get it back, but we'll have them for when the stocks die off. We're going to pull the spuds with that for the crack with the 35, old school, just how we used to do it, same as what we had, a 711, kind of an elaborate looking yoke. But anyways, everything is doing well in the garden. The beans are doing fierce well. They're nice stalks, nice pods coming on them there. They were nearly ready for picking. The runner beans I haven't actually seen too much of. Peas, we were picking away at the peas there. Peas are doing well. We have pumpkin. There's a pump. Maybe I'll see if I can go up to the other end without doing too much damage. There's our lettuce there. I have to get some of that. There's onions scattered through there, but the onions is a bit of a disaster because the dogs just keep running up and down it and just destroying it. And as you can see, it's quite bad with weeds. It's just keeping on top of them. I wouldn't have time for doing much of the weeding. But and look, there's a fair head of cauliflower now. Great head of cauliflower. I actually had one. I wasn't here over the weekend when I was in Cork. But it's just, you can never ever get on top of them bloody weeds. They're just a nightmare, absolute nightmare. Anyways, so one of the things while we're here, one thing I want to talk about is our tillage. You can see over here, so we're going 2 steps this way and we're in a tram line. So this is our spring wheat. It's nearly ready for crimping. So if I just pull the grain off, so you can see, if I bruise it, so you can see it's still milky. Crimping is when there's none of that juice, is what we call milk. And when it goes cheesy, when it's in there cheesy and it starts to go bean hard, not before it's ripe, that's when it's for crimping. And we'll be crimping the 3 fields at the house. We're hoping then, where we seen earlier on in the day, where the oats have gone down and the barley, that we're hoping to dry combine all of that, all in Killishy. But that ground is going wet. As you see, it's going down. It could change by then. We might have to go whole crop, and it's very hard to know just the weather. Like you seen this morning, it was absolutely disastrous weather, and it's picked up again in the evening, but it's not good enough. We need better weather. And when we do come to combining in Killishy dry combine, we're going straight in with the dual wheels on the combine. We're not going to mess around or pussyfoot around it. We're just going straight in with the duals to make sure that we can get it done. And then the whole cropping is all off and away and about, but that'll be first to be done, then this, and then hopefully, all going well, if the weather just would settle a bit, we get the tillage done in all around Killishy, all dry combine. And we'll be hoping to try and get we need a minimum of 120 tonne of dry grain to be able to finish all the cattle we plan on finishing. So we had last year, and we had about 10 tonne over, which was great. About 5 or 10 tonne over, which was great. It's fantastic to have stuff over, but that's kind of the plan with the tillage. So it's just a waiting game, hoping it stays up, doesn't go down. It's in its worst stage for going down because the heads are heavy. Once they start to dry out, you start getting a bit more safer. So yeah, we just don't really need any heavy rain or high winds. But anyways, I'll get this lettuce and I'll bear on back into the house, have the tea, and we'll go start pulling out bits of kit for servicing. Tea this evening is homegrown lettuce. There's a few peas in it, tomatoes, salad. What's that called? Tortilla. So my father he's just gone in for his tea. He has the engine oil drained out of the harvester, and there he has his filters changed. He is just topping it back up with oil, cleaned off the oil pressure sensor. A little bit of an issue with the sensor in the last job. It started flashing, or wasn't really flashing, coming on and not on, and it's like one of these things. Like, what do you do when it comes on? It comes on, it's a sign that you don't have the oil pressure, but everything was fine. It kept running, so it could be a faulty sensor, and we're going to oil pressure test the pump to see that it is putting out the right, I think it's 25 pound of pressure. He's just missing a fitting to do the pressure test, and we'll be doing that tomorrow. He's not sure whether he has to go harvesting for, there's a contracting job he has to go do for a lad, a couple of acres, but he doesn't know whether he's doing it yet or not. With all the rain that fell, it might be too wet, mightn't be able to do it. Ground conditions could be too soft, might have to leave it off. If it does, we've got lots of time to get that all sorted and get the header serviced. If not, it's going to be a bit of a rush in the morning. He doesn't want me pulling out the header now, because he's not going to have any time to look at tonight, and it's as well stay in the shed than be left out, and if it rained tonight, get wet. So leave that in the shed. I'm going to go clean out sheds for half an hour or an hour or what, work till about 10 o'clock or 10:30, and come back in and catch up with him, see if he has anything more to say about that. I'll just pop up the drone there. There's no drone footage in the video because there's no real tractor work really, bar the tractor that just tear down for him. That was really all. So I'll do a little pop up the drone there. I'll just fly across some of the calves or something, peg in a bit of drone footage because it's nice to have. I'll probably put it in at the very end of the video, but anyways, I'll go just pop up the drone there before it gets any darker, and I'll go clean out sheds till it gets dark, and then I'll call it quits at that. So, do you ever find that if something goes right, something else has to go wrong? Because as you should be seeing there, the calves were moved earlier, where we put the calves and the bulls beside each other, which we'd done before, didn't have any issue with, but the calves are all in with the bulls and the fence is still up from what I can see with the drone. So that was a nice surprise to get while flying the drone, and sorting them out, oh, could be a problem, especially now we cannot feed the calves that's down there because the bulls will only bully them and eat them, and it's a mess. And it's nightmare. But anyways, there doesn't seem to be any fighting or any messing or anything going on. Everything seems to be peaceful down there, so we'll leave them till morning and then we're gonna have to sort them out. So and for tomorrow we had 3 jobs for mowing and baling then the next day, but Friday's coming wet again, so probably won't, and with the rain that fell today, probably too wet, so there'll be no mowing on, so that's going to be kicked back. With a good bit of baling, still mowing and baling and that kind of stuff still have to do. All the pit silage, we've no pit silage on the books, that's all cleared. We've 1 whole crop pit to cut. Probably have another few come in later on for contracting. So yeah, there's a nice bit of slurry still to be done. We're trying to get as much of that rattled off as we can before we start into the harvest, not to try and have the two in the way, if you know what I mean. And yeah, when the harvest starts, then we'll have the grain mill will have to hit the road and do a heap of rolling. And yeah, contracting is always busy, keeps us occupied. Anyways, it's nearly dark. I'm going to just take a lock of buckets out of the next shed and have a start med at it. So, and that'll be it then for the video. So we go shake a doo-doo and shift some shit. So now everyone, that is my farm day over. 24 hours in farming done at 10:30, just after 10:30 back in. Got about half that shed cleaned out, and so there's enough done for today. Long enough all day. Can't remember when I got up. I got up at some stage around 7 o'clock. Long all day, but that's just what you do. And is it a typical day for me? Not a bit, because there's literally no 2 days the same, unless like the job I was talking about earlier in the video, where I was in a job and today would have been the 5th day there, but with the rain I couldn't go to it, couldn't spread slurry in that rain, or especially after, it's just too wet. But days when you're at them jobs, they can be a bit repetitive, but normally there's literally no 2 days the same. And a big shout out to anyone who's actually made it this far in the video, because I'm expecting this video is quite long, probably a bit like a short movie or something like that. So big shout out to you, and just see how many people actually watch this far. Leave a comment down below. Farming is a way of life. That way I know you made it this far in the video, and I promise I won't keep you for 5 more minutes. But my biggest problem is ranting and raving and not knowing when to stop talking and going around in circles. That's my biggest problem when making videos. Anyways, so I suppose just to finish off a bit more, this time of the year, the beginning of August, for us our main priority at the minute is getting our machinery ready for harvest, getting our yard ready for harvest, getting the sheds cleaned out so we can get the yards washed, so we can get the sheds cleaned, get everything washed, disinfected, ready for the grain to come in and the straw to come in. Get all our machinery, the harvester ready, the mill, the headers, the combine, the tractors serviced, literally just get everything ready, that we are ready when the weather does come. If it comes, it has to come. Jeez, it better come. It better come. That we can literally just go tool up and get it done, get it out of the way as quick and efficiently as is possible. All our tillage goes into our cattle, everything, all our grain. We're about 60 to 75% self-sufficient in grain, so all we need to buy in then is our balance and ration and our biscuit meal, which comes from the UK. And other than that, 60-75% self-sufficient, grain sufficient in the animal's lifespan, not just the finishing ration. So the purpose of this video, at the end of the day, and what Farm 24 is all about, it's for us farmers to show the world, show the public what we do on a daily basis, how we do it, and try and inform and teach the public about how farmers operate across the different sectors, and to encourage the public to shop local, shop from local farmers, local farmer markets, local food producers. That's the highs in. That's really and truly the ins and outs of it. For me, any old excuse to, support and encourage farming is a good excuse in my books. I encourage anyone who's watching this today it is the 6th of August. I record this on the 5th. To share your own stories, whether it be on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, if you can get it up in time. Share your stories around your farming and what you do in your 24 hours. And put the hashtag Farm24, hashtag Farmers Guardian, and hashtag Morrisons, because they're also sponsoring the campaign this year. So anyways, that is it for me. That is my 24 hours, near enough, in farming as an Irish producer of dairy, calf to beef system, with the tillage and the contracting. And that is it from me. Merch you seen at the start of the video, I was wearing my old school t-shirt. There's a link in the description down below. I'm working on getting some new merch made up, so more t-shirt designs, so that should be interesting. Eventually I'll have it. Also, links in the description down below for PayPal and some other bits and bobs. So, videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. That is it for me. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Good luck and support your local producers.